Oh. Hello there, friends. On this lovely Friday evening, June 29, 2018, I don't know, it's like after 8 p.m. Well, welcome back to the second season. It's been a while of the Forever Alone Diaries. Unfortunately, the first season is gone forever into the ether. But hey, you know, the end of some things and the beginning of other things, right? If you're sort of confused, basically on my previous channel, Forever Alone Feels, I just started a vlogging series called Forever Alone Diaries. You know, I did some edits here and there, but it was basically just me rambling. So technically it's no different than anything I've done, but you know, we'll just pretend that this is different. And I'm going to make an attempt, folks, I'm going to make an attempt to actually keep these productive, right? Actually try to progress in these. So I probably won't be putting these out very often. We'll see, you know? Actually honor that principle of if I don't really have something valuable to say, well, you really need to make a video complaining. So there's that. What else? So I'm a little rusty behind the camera, you know? So if I'm kind of all over the place and confused, well, it's because you're old. Getting old picnic man. You know, it's gonna take me a little bit of time to get my complaining muscle built back up. I'm just kidding. So wait a second, you were all distraught 1 second, you made one video, then like a really vocal video where you're all like semi drunk and after a crying spell, and now you're sitting here seemingly fine. You know, was this all an act? Is this all just a troll attempt? You know, is this some clever performance art for Goytown University? You know, is that your master's thesis? No, I assure you not. Basically, folks, and no, I'm not over it. You know, that's not... Basically, folks, it's this. The first one on the minor side is definitely alcohol. Alcohol does not solve your problems. And it's one of those things that I think that there are certainly moments in time in life where the feels, those old feels get very hot and heavy, you know, and start almost immediately, and you need something to take the edge off. But I mean, it's, you know, there are moments where, you know, if you are in certain pain, you do take a Percocet. But if it's something you get addicted to, you know, which is the general relationship that you have with alcohol, when it becomes a daily thing, that's when it becomes bad. But I think there are moments when the feels are just too heavy, and to sort of deal with it, you can drink. But the bigger issue, folks, the bigger, sadder issue, you're the bigger, sadder issue, is that, you know, more importantly, the unfortunate reality of severe and long-term depression. And I feel like Sam Hyde in one of his Hyde Wars videos, which I do have, yeah, you know, call me Yeah, I do have you call me whatever you want, but I do have a subscription to the Hide Wars videos on Gumroad. I've gotten plenty of kicks from watching his video series. So hey, for free, so I thought I'd give back, But I feel like he sort of touched upon this a little bit. But basically, folks, the reality of severe and long-term depression is that your brain basically, I would say, rearranges itself to function on sludge. Whatever you want to call that, sludge. And so it's almost in like a weird way able to internalize that sludge. You don't get over it, folks. And I don't really know how to explain what does internalizing it mean. It is what it is. Something that when you were younger, if something like this happened to me when I was younger, believe me, folks, I would be in a depressive mopey state for probably a very long time, for weeks. But, when your brain rearranges yourself and decides, all right, all of that shit, that's what I'm going to use for fuel now. We're not letting anything go to waste. It's sort of like a weird reverse. How the body can function on carbohydrates or go into ketosis with fat, and I think it can turn protein into like carbohydrates, which is usually not good. It can definitely do that same thing with, I don't know, sludge, folks. Whatever you want to call that, depression, anger, sadness, it sort of knows eventually when it creates that phelitosis. I said, it doesn't get rid of it. You don't get over it. You just internalize it, folks. And you're sort of able to move on faster than you used to. So that's about the only explanation that I have why I was basically in a very bad state yesterday, and today seemingly you're fine. You're not fine, right? You're not fine. It's not that you don't care. It's not that you're like, whatever. It's just your brain slops up all of that sewage in your head. And there you go. Time to move on, right? So, if you're sort of confused about everything, who was I talking about? Well, it was nobody that I talked about on video, so, that's why it probably sounds confusing. Who was it in reference to? And out of respect for the person, I'm not going to go into all the details. And I do wish the person well, too. Believe it or not. I know, does that make me a cuck? Does that make me a big cuck for, having respect for the person and wishing them well? I don't know. Maybe it's I guess for some vague clarification, all I'll really say is just somebody I started talking to on the internet, took a liking to, seems like a sweet, wholesome girl, and, they said they wanted to be a wife and mother. So, hey, key to your heart. Unfortunately, there was great distance, so that made things challenging, and you didn't know how to react to it, and just, what do you do with it, and blah, blah. So by the time you kind of decided, you had this feeling one day, maybe this will be an opportunity for you to grow as a person and a man. Unfortunately, it was too late. Admittedly, it's like, hey, and like apparently it's like several weeks though was too long to have that realization. But whatever. Life moves fast, I guess. All I'll really say, it has unfortunately made me realize and diminish my ability to trust. In fact, maybe it's removed my ability to trust anything women sort of have to say, especially if it's like a young, sorry, is it too loud? It's a scorcher outside, especially if it's like a young, cute girl, it's like, I know that side of you that just wants to be trusting, but, be careful. God damn it. Just, too loud from that damn wind. I'm still sort of in awe that how is it in the span of like several weeks somebody can go from they're alone, they're lonely, they're depressed, they don't have any friends, just can't get a this or that, it's feels like a similar situation to yours, to like in the span of several weeks to now having a boyfriend and a relationship, and now they got friends. I mean, the friends part, whatever, good, make friends. I was like, wait, how is it that you supposedly struggle with all this, and like literally overnight, I don't know, it's a little bit like, I don't know. It really shows you the difference between lonely males and lonely females, And I realize, that's not like a blanket case with all the women out there, but I unfortunately in the future, it's going to be very difficult for me to ever be sympathetic to women again if I hear anything like that, where it's like, oh, and you wanna, it's tugging on your heartstrings and all that and blah blah, and it's just like, yeah, I'm afraid I'm not sure I can believe these words again. But it is what it is, folks. Like other things for me in life, apparently I had to go through some heartache to kind of learn. So we're just going to leave that there. And I do wish the person well. You said you want to be a wife and mother. Even if I'm not going to be a part of that puzzle, I wish you well, and I hope, that doesn't turn out to all be nonsense, because I feel the world could use good wives and mothers, But given that my trust has been shaken, I don't really know. I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll just turn out to be another thought, right? Who knows? who knows? So that's it, folks. That's all I can really say about that. So, well, anyway, moving on, man, and just the day continues to grow. Later, got a nice ribeye steak with some salt and pepper. So yeah, I don't want to make this too long, just so I can save having to talk about something else on other days. Basically, today is shoulder day, it's, can argue back and forth about the whole jobs and moving out and blah, blah, blah thing. And by the way, folks, yeah, the whole female thing, it's probably a good idea to kind of walk away from that for a while, Old Georgie boy has too sensitive of a heart when it comes to matters of the fairer sex, So, today is Shoulders Day. Basically, for me, that's been a whole lot of overhead pressing with dumbbells. And I was doing some band face pulls. You guys got me. All the people who were telling me to do band face pulls has been doing that at home afterwards, just to, hit that rear delt and whatever stuff, balance out the pushing. I'm not really sure what else to do for shoulder day. Don't really care for lateral raises. I'm gonna do, I don't know, hanging from the pull-up bar for some grip strength, and got to take a break from working on pull-ups. It's just like my fucking, brachialis on my right hand. It's, very much possible, folks, that I'm still too fat and heavy to be working on stuff like that I really got to cut down the weight and let my body, let my tendons, ligaments, all that good stuff, build themselves up before I work on actual pull-ups. The dips seems to be fine, I guess, just from the sheer amount of times I've done them. But, well, we'll see. So, probably on my back day, I'll do the lat pull down or something and some other stuff. But we'll cover that in another day. It is Shoulders Day. Oh, God. Not really sure completely what I'll do other than overhead pressing, a whole lot of it. Gotta make those dumbbells last in the gym, folks. So, let's go home. Let's do some exercise. All right, friends. You'll have to excuse me. Sorry, it looks kind of weird when the hair's tied back and the hairs are popping out here. And hey, I've got a farmer's tan and so I'm wearing a shirt outside. I'm not comfortable enough yet to suntan shirtless or something like that. But anyway, so sorry for the look. So you'll have to excuse me. I didn't get any workout footage. There were, unfortunately, a bunch of people in that little gym, so it was super weird. But I didn't chicken out. I went in and still did my workout. Just did a bunch of overhead pressing. Came home and did 4 sets of band face pulls with this. 4 sets of 15 reps. I don't know, too much, too little, I don't know. So that was my shoulder day. I don't know, I'm still figuring stuff out. So I realized, why don't you just sign up for a real gym? Why don't you sign up for a real gym? Why are you doing this whole using your little cuck gym? Well, there's the convenience of a short walk, and I want to build up consistency with what I have, folks, versus, you know, signing up for like a fancy regular gym and just like half-assing it. So, alright folks, so that's going to do it for the first episode of season 2 of Forever Alone Diaries. You know, it's what can you say, folks? What would life be without heartache, sadness, disappointment? You know? So, anyway, folks, see you later.